Nyankopo Umayeshira Unsana Nyuma Yemwa Abo Fudom Hekutu Sorry Wo Inshira Kaudinda Nida Abo Fudom Hekutu Sorry Wo Inshira Kaudinda Nida Hallelujah Onyankopo Umayeshira Almighty God, we bless your name. We adore the works of your hands. Oh, angels in the heavens, bow down and worship you. Blessing and honor be to your holy name. Oh, angels in the heavens, bow down and worship you. Be to your holy name. Oh, and praise. Glory, honor, and praise. Be to your holy name. We lift you on high. Honor and praise. Glory, we give you praise. Be to your holy name. Jesus, we lift you higher. We lift you higher. Shira Kaudinda Nida.
Hello and good morning. It's Friday. I believe many of us are happy. I always feel happy when it is Friday because after a hard day's work, which is sustained from Monday to today, a day like this, I know I have this evening, tomorrow, and possibly Sunday to take good rest. The body needs good rest. And the body needs I know what you are going to say.
And good water.
Good water. Of course, X Natural Mineral Water.
Yes.
You need about 60% of this in your body. Every morning I take it. And you would realize that if you are growing old and you take more water, you stay fit, look young, and you become very active. That's how we want to welcome you to Morning Update on TVXYZ today. And of course, you can also follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget, anytime you mention TVXYZ, remember Wazor TV. We are partners. And one thing I want to share with you, if you are organizing any event and you want live coverage, well packaged, professional delivery, just contact us and we'll do that for you. TVXYZ and Wazor TV will always be there for you, Abna.
Yes, definitely. Now, as he rightly said, you're watching the Morning Update on TVXYZ, which is proudly brought to you by X Natural Mineral Water. So if you want to distribute, we'll put some numbers on the screen soon, and you can actually have found some. So you can call 0596 273 546, or you can call 0596 273 547, and we will set you up for life for as long as you want to do that distribution. This morning we'll take some newspaper headlines, as we do always. We'll also do some newspaper review, and later on in the show, Wisdom will come through with detailed stories of some of the headlines that we will discuss.
And the discussion segment of our show is sponsored by Health Alert Clinic. Remember, you can also join us and let us all together share our views, help build Ghana. You can also send us your text messages. We'll be mentioning the lines across the programming. We're taking a short break. When we come back, we'll tell you what the newspapers are reporting.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Welcome back. This is the Morning Update. It's Friday. I'm very excited. I don't know whether you are. Abna, are you excited?
I am, because tomorrow I get to sleep after 4 a.m.
And Sunday is Valentine's Day.
Yes, you owe me chocolates. We established that yesterday.
Well, I would do so because of the chocolate week and the idea of promoting made in Ghana. Chocolate
goods.
is also good. It makes you healthy.
Yes.
Apart from that, I don't do those Valentine things.
Okay, I get it.
Yes.
So please, let's go to our newspaper headlines.
Thank you very much. I'm not romantic, so I want
I
to
understand. We get it.
And the second one is that you see, because it is Valentine and it came from somewhere, a lot of people buy into it. In my former school at the Sadiq College, we call it follow the crowd. Why don't we want to promote something local, something traditional? And most of the time, you see very young people proudly following things that are foreign. Valentine came from somewhere, and we are investing so much in it. You'll be surprised that many of the things that will be distributed on Sunday, very few of them will be made in Ghana, made in Ghana goods.
But
the rest will be foreign.
The consolation we have is in the fact that there will be golden tree chocolate in there.
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
And please, simple advice: COVID is real. And remember that Valentine is not about the love that you young guys especially have been doing. Valentine is about showing love, and go and read about it, and you will understand that it is not about intimacy and those things. And stay safe, stay home, save your money. That's what I will say.
Speaking of saving money, later on in the show we will be discussing how to manage your finances during this dangerous time. So stick and stay with us today, because you will learn a lot. Now, on the front page of the Daily Graphic, also, did you have a verdict before Supreme Court's coming out?
I didn't, because I have followed proceedings, and for one reason or the other, which was reflecting on commentary on social media, was that it was predictable how the Supreme Court was going to handle the case.
Right.
And so I just decided that I'll wait and see, and it came to pass.
It came to pass?
Yes.
Meaning that you were also of the same view. Now it says here on the front page of the Daily Graphic, Jane Mensah won't testify. So if you were hoping that the EC chair was going to testify, then I'm sorry, the court has ruled. Also, Mahama moves to subpoena EC chair. He's not going to let this go at all. Also here, it says that the military to establish bases in 16 regions. Minister designates for defense. And again, it says all set for Council of State elections today.
Let me deal with the Chronicle newspaper. It comes with the pictures of Chachi Chikata, and then we have the Minister for National Security, Okujeto Ablakwa, who seems to be making a lot of waves at the appointment committee because of the kind of questions he's asking, and Dominic Nitiwul, who is the Minister Designate for Defense. And the first one says, cross-examinations, Yamutu. Simple and short, captured on the front page of the Chronicle newspaper. So that's how it came, and there are other stories. Let me read the headlines that are associated with it. It says, cross-examinations, Yamutu, but Chachu files to reopen case, subpoena Jane Mensah, Ablaka Nitiwul in hot exchange over Mahama's land, and murdered GPHA bosses family pounces on Kandapa over comment at the vetting. Now I want to continue with the Herald newspaper. On the front page, the big story, the banner headline here says, fire baptism for Godfrey Dame, Che Mensah Bonsu, and Bruce Derry today. They are appearing before the appointment committee, and Akufo-Addo's appointee Jabs NPP serial callers asks them to be useful and stop begging. And more drama over 2020 stolen verdict as Mahama files to reopen case and subpoena against Jane Mensah. So exciting stories on the front page of the Herald newspaper, Abna.
Yes, same. So in the Supreme Court, again in the Daily Post, actually on the front page of the Daily Post, says that anger greets Supreme Court ruling that EC boss Jane Mensah cannot be compelled to take the witness box. It looks like all the newspapers are capturing the same thing when it comes to the court.
Yes, that is the biggest story.
Exactly.
That is the biggest story. And if I'll be sharing a few commentaries on social media, and it is quite interesting that a lot of people are now showing interest in what is happening. Many say because of what has happened, the consequences may be grave,
yes,
which means that there are statutory bodies, there are obligations, there is the need for them to at least be accountable to the state because they are paid by the state. And by this ruling, it is going to set a precedent for a lot of things to have to come. I read a post by Kofi Bentil, and it was very simple. He said, because of what has happened, we should forget about corruption and think about 2024, because you can go and charge or go to court and compel somebody to come and maybe answer questions for perceived actions. And by this ruling, the person may say, because of my human rights or whatever,
I will
won't
not-
appear.
yes.
So that is the import I got. But let me do what is on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. This one says, Defense Minister Nitiwul declares accommodation is a big problem facing the military. And Volta Youth Group supports Nyonyo's second bid for Council of State. So the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. The back page has the extension of the stories that have been captured on the front page. This one here talks about work begins on the construction of the Nungwa Traditional Council offices, also captured on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. Now, let me do one more paper so that you can come with your Inquisitor. This one is the Business and Financial Times. Front page, banks borrow 2.57 billion cedis from Bank of Ghana in pandemic year. 195% increase from 872.96 million. Analysts blame COVID-19's impact on businesses. It's exciting to read about these things. So many revelations captured in the paragraphs accompanying this headline. Work begins on the construction of the Nungwa Traditional Council, also captured here. And then task force constituted to monitor compliance of protocols, also on the front page of the Business and Financial Times.
Before you move on, it says work begins on Traditional Council.
The Nungwa Traditional Council.
Nungwa Traditional
Yes.
Council. When they need hospital.
We'll talk about the rest later. I'm sure when we get to the newspaper review segment, you'll be hearing more from those who will be joining us. In fact, the two gentlemen joining us are Opariado, who is the editor of the Delhi Democrat, and then we have the other gentleman who is the deputy news editor for the Daily Dispatch. Remember the last time he came as
prepared
with a lot of documents. I expect him to come with so many documents today because he had an interest in how the Supreme Court case is going, and I'm sure when he joins us, he will refer us to why he thinks that everything is okay. That will be after 7:30, Abena.
Yes. Now, on the first page of the Inquisitor, I also have yesterday you had a newspaper headline that said GRA had spent 34 something on commercials. Now it says here that GRA pays 73.6 million Ghana cedis for ghost projects. I think you should see this. It's right here on the front page of the Inquisitor. Also, Dr. Prempeh targeted for mischievous agenda. Health Minister has been caught in another lie. He did say that the General Hospital was under construction, and now he's saying something about snake serum also being procured. And apparently all that is a lie. So you can get the Inquisitor and follow the story.
Well, it's interesting. Sometimes when you pick the newspapers, there's something we call editorial policy. And sometimes you want to look at what you think is of news to you. The man said so many things, but some of these seem to be running around on the front pages. But you see, I'm surprised that none of the papers is talking about the elections of members to the Council of State. Today is February 12th.
One did.
Okay, but at least this is an important part of our governance structure. And I don't know, maybe people have lost interest in the Council of State because they are not making the expected impact or otherwise. But I know E.T. Mensah is going. There's a young man, Ras Mubarak, and then there's another young man from the, I think, Ashanti region, who is also contesting. I'm told it's going to be a hot race.
It looks like it.
Yes. One Kotejani is also on the race, and then one Andani, who is a former Stanbic Bank managing director, is also going. And so there are some interesting names emerging.
And why didn't you go?
When I grow up, I will show interest. One Nation newspaper, Jean Mensah can't be forced to testify, Supreme Court rules. But the banner headline here says, election petition, John Mahama abandoning own case, been to court twice. Kojo Oponkroma jabs. That's on the front page of the One Nation newspaper. Then Tokyo Olympics chief to step down over sexism row, and that is also on the back page of the One Nation newspaper. Now, I think that's all I have. I don't know if you have any other paper.
One more. That's the Ghanaian Times. It also talks about EC not being put in the witness box, and also President promotes officers, other ranks of Ghana Prison Services. And another story which you have covered. It says construction right begins on ultra-modern palace for Nungua Traditional Council. Your last paper just said Mahama has abandoned his case. He's left to fight another day. So it says election petition. Mahama files motion to reopen case. Now this is the last newspaper we have for today. We will be taking a quick commercial break, but do not forget, this is still the morning update on TV XYZ, brought to you by X Natural Mineral Water. My name is Nana Sewa and my co-host Eric Anyanyo. We'll be right back.
Peace of mind is very essential in your journey to success. For Akwesi Papa, peace of mind means having a proper covering over his family. Literally. For Araba, aka Injection Mama, it's about having the funds to complete her advanced nursing course. And as for Corporal Odami, it's as simple as reporting on time for his shifts. Sometimes all you need is a simple push. At Needs Microfinance, we have tailor-made loan packages for salaried workers under the Controller General's Department. With the low interest rate and quick wahala-free process, you are guaranteed of a timely solution to get back that peace of mind, literally in 30 minutes. Needs Microfinance. Growing with you.
A lot have been said before the commercial. Mostly, most of the things we spoke about were happening in the Supreme Court. And as always, Wisdom is here to keep us updated. Good morning, Wisdom.
Good morning, Nana Sewa.
You see? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you too?
Not bad.
It's Friday.
Yes.
That special song, will you sing it today? Or it will be later on the show?
Later on in the show.
Okay. Right.
So you should stay tuned.
All right. I'll try my best.
What do you have?
So I'll be telling you about the Supreme Court ruling yesterday. Now, you know Ghanaians and name calling. When Nanado started the fellow Ghanaians, they started calling fellow Ghanaians. Now, people have started calling the Supreme Court judges Supreme Unanimous 7. I'm wondering where that is coming from. But then the Supreme Court has asked the parties to file their closing, statement by the 17th, and then on the 18th, the case will be heard again. Now, the appointment committee is continuing the sitting. Now, something is worrying. I don't know if you have paid attention. Now, when COVID became an issue, there was Frontier Healthcare Services, which was, contracted to conduct COVID tests, and that was paying about $150, if you remember. Now, questions came that money was too much, and then it was said that now government is charging $50. When the health minister went before the vetting committee, he said he had no idea about that company. Yesterday, Shelley Ayokoboche, Minister Designate for the Foreign Affairs, was also there. She also declined knowledge of it. So the question now is, who ordered them? So that question is still ranging. And I'm sure
is fired up this morning. So please take us away, because I can see how much you want to tell us what's happening. Tell us, please.
Grateful for your company this morning. Let's begin the stories from the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has instructed all parties in the ongoing election petition hearing to file their rating submissions by next week, Wednesday, February 17. Now, this was after the court, in a unanimous decision, ruled that EC Chair Jane Mensah and MPP's Peter McMinu cannot be forced to mount the witness box. Now, Chief Justice Kwesi Yeboah Enin, who read the ruling, said the judges were not convinced by the contrary arguments made by Chachu Chikata. Now, Chachu Chikata, lead counsel for the petitioner, has said that he is going to file for a subpoena to compel the EC chair to mount the witness box. Here, except from court.
Of laws cases like this petition also deals with witnesses who have served witness statements and have decided not to give evidence to be cross-examined. We amended to state that our jurisdiction invoked in this election petition is a limited jurisdiction clearly circumscribed by law. We do not intend to extend our mandate beyond what the law requires of us in such petitions brought under Article 64 Clause 1, challenging the validity of the election of a president. Simply put, we are not convinced and will not yield to the invitation being extended to us by counsel for the petitioner in order the respondent to enter the witness box to be cross-examined. Accordingly, we hereby overrule the objection raised by counsel for the petitioner against the decision of the respondents declining to adduce evidence in this petition.
So hearing is slated for next Thursday, but Wednesday, the parties are to file their closing submissions for the subsequent date to be fixed for the hearing. Now, the NPP and the EC have since been jubilating. Now, according to their lawyers, a Supreme Court ruling gives clear indication the NDC has no case and the final ruling will throw out the petition. Information Minister Designate Kojo Oppong Nkrumah speaks for the NPP legal team.
Leonard Senior Dominic Ayine has been saying that before you every day. There is a constitutional interrogation that they need to do, and that is it's a constitutional matter. 3 different cases. They keep changing the goalpost, and that is why you had the court, I think, refer them to the basis on which we're here. So we continue to say that we're in the hands of the court. We will bring in our submissions by the deadline and pray the court to dismiss this petition before it.
So Kojo Oppong Nkrumah is Minister Designate and he speaks for the NPP legal team. Now the court premised its ruling on Order 38, Rule 3E of the High Court Civil Procedure Amendment Rule CI 87. Now, lead counsel for John Mahama has finally and formally filed an application to leave for reopening of the petition challenging the 2020 presidential polls. Now, former Attorney General Marietta Brew Apia Oppong, who addressed the media, also said the party has applied for a review of the ruling. Now, a visibly disappointed NDC team of lawyers said it is strange the court is backing such an action.
By this particular conduct to adduce evidence in court, and therefore it was no longer open to them. Insipid arguments by the respondents. Nevertheless, the courts have ruled in favor of the respondents, saying that they do not agree with us, that even though this is the EC, a constitutional body, the same principles that are applicable to ordinary people should be applicable to the Electoral Commission, and therefore they were upholding their request not to mount the witness box. Subsequently, also heard Mr. Chikata. He said, well, if that is the decision of the court, then he's going to apply. In fact, he's in the process of filing an application for us to reopen our case and to subpoena the chairperson of the Electoral Commission.
Still on that Supreme Court ruling, and there has been sharp reactions from social media users. Now, users on various platforms had some expressions. Let's listen.
President of Imani Ghana, Franklin Cudjoe, in a comment wrote on Facebook, Ghana's 2024 elections will be very interesting. I wonder if there would be declaration of results. Pray. His partner, Kofi Bento, who has equally been critical of the EC and its operations, also reacted immediately after the Supreme Court's ruling. He wrote, whether EC or Eugene, you cannot accept public office and refuse public scrutiny. They are two sides of the same coin. Sit up or ship out. Another post read, unanimous 7 is legally right on this ruling, but a blot on their conscience by aiding a respondent to evade interrogatories. TVXYZ News has been speaking to a cross-section of the public.
Let me just, in the nutshell, what they did, they have been very cruel to Chachuchi Kata and his, people, and then they did biased job. That's what I would say. I'm really shocked. Those judges, I'm just presuming that everybody should forgive them.
Because not by fault. The witness it's not compulsory to do witness, because maybe he say I take something. What is your witness? He say your witness day. He say I saw the person. He stayed there. The thing. The another one came. He say I saw the person. He's sitting off the thing. It means the man didn't take anything.
You see, if you watch Goddess Justicia, okay, she symbolizes justice. So you see that she has this scale on the hand, and the book, the Constitution, she has stepped on it, okay, implying that sometimes you put the book aspect aside and deal with critical thinking and logical reasoning. So though they say he who alleges must prove, to me it works at a limited space, not all cases.
So a cross-section of Ghanaians there on the Supreme Court ruling yesterday saying that it is not compulsory for Jean Mensah to mount the witness box to explain to Ghanaians what really transpired, as the petitioner has been talking about. Let's go to Parliament now, because ahead of Finance Minister designate Ken Ofori-Atta's vetting next week, TVXYZ News is learning that Data Bank is pulled out as transaction advisors for the Ejapa royalties deal. Now, Ofori-Atta, Finance Minister designate, and the nominee for communications, Esla Owusu-Ekufo, will face the appointment committee next week, Tuesday.
Wake of several petitions asking Parliament to reject Mr. Ofori-Atta's renomination because of conflict of interest and his alleged involvement of some dubious deals, including the Ejapa royalties deal, PDS, among others. Data Bank, an investment firm which has Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as co-owner, and Imara Holdings were the two advisors for the deal, which was suspended after public outcry and the subsequent revelations by Special Prosecutor Martin Amidu. TVXYZ News has learnt Data Bank has written officially to Imara Holdings over its decision to withdraw as financial advisor. In the response letter, the management of Data Bank said the decision was necessitated by attacks on the person of Ken Ofori-Atta. The Ejapa deal formed part of government plans to ensure that the country extracts as much benefit as possible from its mineral resources. It was intended to monetize Ghana's gold royalties through the dual listing of Ejapa Royalties Company on the Ghana and London stock exchanges.
So the vetting continues in earnest, and yesterday, Minister Designate for the Defense Dominic Nitiwu and Minister Designate for the Foreign Affairs Shirley Ayokoboche took their turns before the vetting committee. Now, the Gan Adangbe youth have served notice of an impending protest should government fail to direct the contractors of the abandoned La General Hospital expansion project to return to site. The threat follows the Health Minister Designate Kwaku Agyeman-Menu's response to a question at the vetting committee suggesting work is ongoing. Fact checkers have since exposed the false claim and residents are unhappy.
It's not going on here. And they just put on the fence wall. They raised the fence wall, and we asked them. They said it will be started by this year, early this year, but still we've not gotten any idea about it.
We were here and they came and told us they are come to put it down and build a new hospital. But since they came, I think we have not seen.
As they started raising the wall, yeah, I was like, oh, okay, the government has started their work. So I was happy that, yeah, the work is going to be started very soon. But as time goes on, I see that the land is still, there, and there's nothing being started on the land.
Secretary to the Gan Adangbe Youth Association, Jeffrey Tete, who contributed to discussions on the stalled project, described it as worrying, especially because of the impact of the abandoned project on residents.
This is some kind of insult on the people who assess the place. So we are actually asking the nominee to actually retract the statement and render an apology. We're also going to call on the president that if your nominee can peddle such falsehood, then we don't think he's fit for the job. So it will be better he's taken up, because the next time somebody may die and he will say that the person is still alive, and we don't know what that would mean. So the president should withdraw the nominee. And then lastly, we are asking government to within 14 days start construction of the Lagina Hospital. And if they are not able to do that, the youth of La will take over the place. We are going to erect football poles and start playing football there.
And now, before we go, barring any further challenges, the delayed 2020 population and housing census will take place in April and May this year. Now, according to the statement, according to the Ghana Statistical Service, the exercise will take place this year as the first digital census in Ghana. It will involve the use of computer-assisted personal interviewing device, tablet for electronic data capture and graphic positioning systems for recording coordinate of structures as recommended by the United Nations. Now, according to the methodology to be applied, nobody would be exempted, and thus includes lunatics and those living in ghettos. Only foreign missions will be exempted. The 1992 Constitution recommends a census enumeration once every 10 years for data to be collated rather than simply relying on estimates and projections. And that'll be it for this morning's News in Brief on the morning updates. Nana, that's it. Why are you so happy?
No, because I heard what
the football thing.
Yes, and he's.
No, you know, it's a very huge.
It is. Now, what worries me is
if they mount the post, then it means that you can be a referee or maybe a coach. Who knows?
Oh, see,
but
and a solid keeper.
On a more serious note, this is very, very serious. They're giving government 14 days to do this exercise, because when you look at when that project was said to have commenced, 68 million euros. This is huge.
And the money has been given out.
And then if you look at the impact it is having on residents, where do they go and seek health care? That is one question you should be worried about.
Yes, so that is a question to you, the government, and also the minister designates. Where do these people go to seek for health care? When we are hearing this morning that you're going to build a council for the chiefs in Nungua. Anyways, we'll be back with a lot of stories. Now, this morning we will discuss managing expenditure on the social segment, so stick and stay.
Kofi na saying haba matumi saya die bia enanka metina homa me yade yakumie.
Oh, na den Health Alert Clinic die yede haba ma any organic product nko a na saya die.
Be ma ne oba a won ho ayamodene wonko Health Alert Clinic.
Health Alert Clinic die say ye be ma wintimi mu adwuma yi. Menstrual disorder, hypertension, anase enam yade STDs. Wo wadun som yade bia ye betene te e de amount. Wasanso ye massaging any physiotherapy. Omo wo diagnostic machines di hwehwe de pediem. Sanso na ultrasound.
Health Alert Organic Shop nso honomu a organic products nko a na omo ton honum. Hwehwe ye kira kwan e wo Madina Post Office ye wo First Atlantic Bank no echi honomu a e wo Enkran.
Freyen e wo 0242 518893 and 0242 518865. Health Alert Clinic. Go Heba.
I said this the last time. Everybody was dancing in the studio to the tune on the montage. So if you are not going to stick with us for anything at all, stick because of our montage. This is the morning update on TVXYZ. My name Nana Abena Sewa. Now we are going to discuss our social issue for the day. COVID is real. This morning, my biker asked me a question that got me a bit worried. And this is something they discussed at the biker station. So Bashiru, I told you to watch, and I'm going to say this. I actually went to the Ghana Health Service page because of you. He said to me this morning that we are not hearing anything about COVID anymore. Is it that it's no longer there? It is. Now, on the Ghana Health Service page, it says here that active cases as at now is at 6,948. And also confirmed cases stand at 73,557. Whereas new cases 554, where deaths are 495. So yes, it is real. If you also have the same perception as Bashiru, COVID is real, people are dying, and each and every day we are recording new cases. Now, before I move into my topic for the day, I'd like to acknowledge my sponsors, X Natural Mineral Water and also Health Alert Clinic. So if you've been thinking of having a hepatitis B test, they actually do it for free. So you can just walk through and they will get it done. But if you have other chronic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, stroke, numbness, waist, muscle pains, because there are lots of diseases out there, just walk into Health Alert Clinic and they will sort you out. Let's go herbal all the way. Now, as I said earlier, COVID is real, and we have experienced a lot of economic hardship during this time. From March 2020 till now, a lot has happened. People are broke. People have lost their jobs. They've had their salaries slashed. Even the economy is broke. Charlie, we owe like 274 million cedis. We owe. We are in debt. But yesterday we saw that inflation is at 9.9%. So maybe there is a little hope somewhere for us. Regardless, we are still going to talk about how to manage the little money that we have left in our account. That is if we even have something left. And I'm sure you want to know. So I have in the studio the Business Development Officer for Echo Capital Investment Management Limited, Mr. George Daniel Horatio.
Yeah.
I got it right.
You got it right.
Didn't you think he was white when you heard it?
I'm not white, I'm Ghanaian.
I can see that.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me, sir.
And me, personally, I want to know how to manage the little money that I have left in my account. I don't even know if it's still there.
It's still there, yes. A very big good morning to your viewers out there, and thanks for having me here. You know, the advent of the COVID has really impacted us in so many ways. Some of us have lost property, some of us have lost our jobs, some of us have lost connections, networks. I mean, others too have benefited from this.
Yeah.
You understand? So I think that before we delve into the COVID issue, we need to really look at it in an overview sort of way. So we know that it's not, some sectors have benefited, other sectors have also, have some damage and challenges here and there. Yeah, but I think on the personal level, if you are looking at how to save or how to manage the little monies you have in your account, we should be thinking of, there's a formula. We call it the C plus S plus I, equals income. You understand? So this directly equates income to your consumption.
Okay.
C is consumption, S is savings, and I is investment. There's a difference between savings and investment. Savings is just you keeping some monies and defer your consumption to a later date. But investments take it to another level. Investments is such that then whilst you are delaying your consumption, you are also expecting to have some return.
Right.
So that's the difference between, So if you equate or if you equalize your consumption to your income, then there's nothing to spend. Meaning that when the money comes in, then you spend everything. But you know that we are living in, the president says that we are not in normal times.
Yeah.
You understand? So what it means is that you now have to live below your means, because you have to be now be more precautionary in your spending. Precautionary means that then you also have in mind contingency.
Yeah.
should this COVID thing, continue for a longer time, do I have enough monies in savings that could help me in case I ran out of cash? Do I have some monies in investment that could assist me to bounce back? Let's assume that I lose my job, because now it appears jobs that are, or let me say sectors that are affected, that are badly hit by the COVID, it's possible for them to fold up at any time. If you are connected to such sectors, if your company or business is connected to such, if your employer is connected to such sectors, should it happen, God forbid, that they decide to fold up because they are not able to make meaningful business? Now, what would happen to you as an employee? You understand? So there's life after COVID. Even though we are going through this, people may complain, oh, the salary is not enough. The salary will never be enough, because the reason is because whilst they increase your salary, you also increase your expenses. That is how it is. Let's assume that when your salary was, let's say, 5,000 a month, you could afford a Picanto. You were managing it. Then something happened, or let's say you added value to yourself, and now you are earning, you are earning 10,000 a month. You definitely want to also show that, yes, something has happened to my account. Yeah, it's human nature, but not this time. You see, like I said earlier, you are living in uncommon, and we don't even know the trend of the COVID.
Yes.
We saw that there was a downturn trend, some few months ago. Then all of a sudden there are spikes.
Yes.
So it's something new that we are, I think, the medical field and then the field of economics, we are still trying to have a grasp of it.
The unfortunate thing is that the virus is fluid.
Exactly.
And because of that, we can't really predict.
You can't really predict the pattern. You understand? So we don't know where next it will affect. You understand? So you have to be precautionary in your approach. That look, I don't know where next, which sector it would affect next, or I don't know what sort of turn it will take next. So I have to, save for myself, save for my family. That is how to go.
We understand that we need to save, but I mean, human nature, we have needs and we have wants.
Yes.
How do we know on let's say how much percentage to spend on needs, how much percentage to spend on wants? And at this point, it looks like some of the wants are even becoming needs.
Yes.
So how do you work around all of this?
Yeah, so like you said, we need to clearly separate wants from needs.
Right.
Needs are the essentials. You can't do away without. Wants are like, okay, so it's weekend, I want to go for a party. Thankfully, the president has placed, a directive, a restriction on
all the
parties
clothes,
and all those clothes and the jewelry and all those jamboree and the expenses, Uber here and there. All those things, I mean, they are wants. You can cut down on them. Actually, you see, there are a number of ways that you can help yourself.
Right.
But when it comes to investment and savings, it first of all must be a nature. It must be a culture. You understand? That's how come sometimes when you go for seminars and you talk to people about investment, then they are on fire. They want to do something. They want to make some projections. Oh, the next 5 years I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But you realize that when they go home, then everything just goes. The brain just goes to sleep. You understand? Because first of all, it must be a nature. It must be a culture. Now, it would amaze you that someone can be earning 600 Ghana a month and can still afford to build a house in the next 20 years. It would amaze you. Whatever monies you receive, have this approach. There's a principle called the 70-20-10. What it means is that 10% you can move it into your, if you're a believer, you can pay tithe of 10%. If you are not a believer, you can support society, support someone with a 10% of whatever that comes to you. 20%, you can look at investment opportunities. Depending on your household needs and other things, you can decide between 10 and 20% whether to invest or save. I mentioned that there's a difference between investment and save, right?
Right, yeah.
Investment, you are looking at getting something in return. But if you are the type that has a lot of transactionary demands, what it means is that you need some monies for day to day. Most of the time, you want to have some monies on you for day to day, consumption and all that.
Right.
For that purpose, you would want to slash your investment opportunities or your investment, drive to maybe 10%. So let's assume that you earn 10,000 a month. Or let me make it very simple and very practical. Let's assume you earn 1,000 cedis a month. Now, use 10% of it to support society or to pay tithe to your church, which is just 100 cedis. Now, 20%, which is 200 cedis, you can use that to invest. I mean, ahead of your future, because like I said, we are not yet out of the woods. And then the 70%, you can use it for any other thing. But you see, you need to also minimize your expenditure so that you can be able, I mean, you will be able to live below your means.
Right. Now, we are still on the discussion of managing expenditure during COVID, and most of the things that he has, Mr. George Horatio has said so far borders around saving and investing. So we hope that you are listening. Now we're moving on to the business sector. A lot has happened, as we all know. Businesses have folded, they have laid off employees, etc. Now I'm sure some businesses would like to diversify or, you know, be strategic about certain things. What can you share with regards to that?
Okay, so it's okay to diversify because when there's a disruption, realize that people also tend to change their lines of consumption. So let me just make it practical. There are some companies I wouldn't want to mention their name on set, but let's give a practical example like Casa Preco, they are Donko & Co. Realize that their line of production was mainly into this bitters and this alcoholic beverages, but I realized that when the disruption came, they also decided to go into sanitizer, you know, making of, production of sanitizer and all that. So realize that businesses are thinking on their feet. It is more or less looking like a survival of fittest. If you are not able to you are not able to ride on the waves of COVID, you'll be swallowed. You understand? So it is essential that we have a strategy to diversify. You look at outside this community, US, Tesla as a company. It's known for car manufacturing, but I realized that in the advent of the COVID, they decided to also look into ventilator. You understand? So a lot of businesses are taking cues from they're taking lessons from the COVID, actually. So it behoves on every business or every employer to also look at how they can capitalize on the COVID. I mean, there is an opportunity under every, in every challenge, there's an opportunity. You have to think deep, have a strategic, alignment to know how you can make, good use of these challenges that are coming your way.
I like the fact that you said we should make good use of the challenges that are coming in, because I want to know, personally, if I want to do something during this COVID, something that probably I can earn extra cash from, what are some of the ventures you would suggest?
Yeah, so you realize that I mentioned that there was a company that was into alcoholic beverage. Now they are doing sanitizer.
Yes.
It is important that you also get close to entrepreneurs. You understand? Because they are ahead of the curve. So let me give you an example. During this COVID situation, a lot of people have lost their jobs, they are home and all that. When you talk about savings, they are even a bit conserved and reserved because
there's no conserved about saving at this point.
There's no money. I don't have a job. How do I even save? You understand? So you can now, looking at the COVID, first we used to gather ourselves in a classroom, and then there's a teacher teaching, and there's a cane on the board and all that. But now the COVID has taught us that, look, you can have online tutorials, you can have online tuition. You understand? So you can be at home and actually log onto a website and then enjoy some tuition and all that. So if you are someone who has, people can do makeup very, very well. I'm giving you can take this. People can do makeup very, very well. You can have your own blog or have your own site where you can teach people how to do makeup, and then you find some payment system for people to pay you to teach for free. Or to teach for a fee.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
There are a number of opportunities that if you look at virtual learning, if you have something in you, and now it comes to the point of value, how much value you've added to yourself. Because let me give you a theory. Now, people pay for your time and value. That's the time and value theory. People will pay you for your time and your value. That's why when you spend time with your employer, they say 8 to 5. So they are paying you for that every day. You understand? And then the value, what value you are also bringing on board to add to the betterment of the whole institution. Right. That's what people are going to pay you for. Now, if you have time, for instance, you've lost a job, you are home. It means you have time. So you have to maximize it to do what? To add more value to yourself. Some people have time, but they don't have value. Some people have value, but they don't even have time. So there are people who are working and they can't have time to even add more value to themselves. That's why someone finishes school and then you go and sit, you are the worker, you go and sit in an exam with a person, and the person will beat you because he has time to study.
Yeah.
You understand? So we are looking at time and value. So in order that you may, want to take advantage of this situation, now is virtual learning is a way. the AI, the computer systems, and all those. I mean, that's a way forward. Look at what value you've added to yourself over the period, and see how you can transform lives and impact lives. Get on set. I mean, find a website where you can also put your content in there, and then you can introduce, partner with some payment system where people can pay to also benefit from the value you've added to yourself.
Right. Now, this is still the morning update on TV XYZ. We are discussing social issues, and our topic for today is dwelling on managing expenditure under COVID. And I've been speaking to Mr. George Daniel Horatio. Yes, and he has been very insightful. Now, before we go, what do you have to tell individuals or businessmen that are watching you now?
Yeah, so I would want to say that we have to be very precautionary. We should have some money saved. When this issue started, for those companies that have money saved in the account of contingency or emergencies, they weren't really bothered, or they weren't really disturbed, even though the disruption happened to all of us. But I realized that some of these companies that have investments in some forms of emergency accounts and all that, they were able to take advantage of the situation, pull out some monies here and there, try to, even those who for schools, for example, who had to lay off workers and all that, they didn't go to that extent because they have some money to be paying the teachers, even though they were paying half salaries and all that. Yeah, so moving forward, I think that we've seen this happen, so we should take a lesson from it. I'm not a prophet of doom. I can't say it will happen again, but
the second person mentioning doom on COVID.
Yes, luck favors the prepared. So be prepared for contingency, be prepared for emergency. So as an individual, so coming to the personal level, as an individual, you should also have some monies that come to you allocated or assigned to emergency purpose or contingencies, and that will help you, because I mean, if you have a household and all that, you can't expect that even though we pray, we are all Christians, you can't expect that throughout the lifetime of your children or your family, no one will fall sick or anything, so you are not having a cover for that. You should plan, you should have a cover, an insurance cover or something that would favor you in times where someone falls sick or something. So that is how you should generalize. You should look at life in totality or in generality.
Right. Thank you, Mr. George Horatio. And like he said, luck favors the prepared. So be prepared, because the virus we have had is fluid. And even those that are preparing the vaccine keep saying that they have to keep changing and tweaking from time to time in order to make the vaccine active. I did some catering during the lockdown. I learned how to bake. And so in my estate, when the lockdown was so severe and people couldn't go out, they came to my house to buy bread and cake and things like that. And so today, I'm the caterer in the estate. So yeah, try to figure something out. Go online. There are so many things that you can learn to do that doesn't require you moving about. This is still the morning update on TV XYZ, and as I said earlier, we have been discussing managing expenditure under COVID with Mr. George Daniel Horatio. The segment is brought to you by Health Alert Clinic and of course X Natural Mineral Water. We'll be right back.
And we are now in the newspaper review segment, and of course every Friday we do it with the editors. This morning I'll be doing it with two gentlemen who are not new to this space, because they've been going around several other platforms. Opare Jan is the editor of the Daily Democrat newspaper, and will also be joined by the deputy editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, Peter Ankoma. He's just going to be with us, I'm sure, in the next 2-3 minutes. But I want to start with Opare Jan. Opare, how are you?
Fine, thank you, brother.
But why? What's the problem?
Oh, it's a long time.
I welcome you and you start laughing.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
I think the last time I met you was at Capital View Hotel.
Yeah.
That was about 2-3 years ago.
Good food, yeah.
And we had fun.
Of course.
And we know our story.
Of course.
That is why we are laughing. No problem. No problem. A lot of things are going around, and I enjoyed the conversation Abena had with the investment guy on how to manage your resources or finances during COVID. We all know it's a difficult time. Some people have lost their jobs. Some have had their salaries slashed. And even if some of them had other dependents, these dependents are not giving them what they need. So life has become very tough. And you can only continue to follow us, because we'll bring more of such conversations to the table so that we can move on. But there are serious things happening in this country. The appointments committee and I am not aware syndrome, or I will find out and come, seems to be coming too often than the normal. The Supreme Court has also taken a decision, and there are mixed reactions on social media. People are speaking strongly either for or against what they have done. And then we believe that another issue that a lot of people are talking about is the Eugene Ahin divorce case. That is not actually the subject, but what is really of public interest is the Eugene Ahin people knew 4 years ago, as suggested by the wife, and all the things that have been put in there. And then yesterday we also heard that Data Bank is pulling out from the Ejapa royalties deal. Some 2-3 days before Ken Ofori-Atta appears before the appointment committee, they threw out this, that, oh, Data Bank is pulling out. Is it because of what he's anticipating if he appears before the appointment committee? All these and several other things are trending. But as we do on Fridays, when the editors join us, we ask them to tell us their picks for the week, and then we begin our conversation. So that's what I want to do. When the deputy editor of the Daily Dispatch newspaper gets set and I introduce him, he will also tell us his pick for the week. Operator Jan, what's your pick for the week?
Good morning to viewers. Let me comment on the investment advisor too. It's key in.
Okay, let me read the details. They brought it to me a while ago, and I want to read what is in the story. It says the news comes in the wake of several petitions asking Parliament to reject Mr. Ofori-Atta's nomination because of conflict of interest and his alleged involvement in some dubious deals, including the Ejapa royalties deal, PDS, among others. Data Bank, an investment firm which has the then finance minister now renominated as co-owner, and Imara Holding were the two advisors for the deal, which was suspended after public outcry and the subsequent revelations by the special prosecutor Martin Amidu. Now, Data Bank has written officially to Imara Holdings over its decision to withdraw from the deal as part of the financial advisors. All of us know that the Ejapa deal was an initiative government wanted to put in place to. In fact, we know the story.
Of course.
Why are you interested in this particular?
No, I wanted to comment on the investor, the one who gave the advice on how to invest. Then I move into, I'll pick COVID as my pick for before I set in.
All right.
On issues of investment, I think it's key. So everyone has to travel on that path of trying to invest and save. It gives you a certain level of resilience in the midst of challenges. Sometimes somebody might have what it takes, but when there are a little bit of challenges, because the person is not resilient, you see him just going to ground zero. So you know where you invest, you know what you do with your investment, you know what you do with your savings, so that it repositions you as somebody who will be able to withstand all these shocks, like how COVID has come. With COVID, there are some people, ordinary people, but they don't feel the economic impact of the COVID. Some do, and I think it's critical to appreciate what investment and savings will do when you will meet such situations, and that is why investments and savings are done anticipating unforeseeable circumstances like COVID has come. I want to pick COVID as a key thing. At a point in time, the number was declining and everybody was happy. But I keep on saying that the president, as the number one of the country, was not exhibiting what it takes as a leader to continue to warn Ghanaians of the pandemic. if you go through a lot of his engagement with Ghanaians through his weekly or bi-weekly engagement, he always mentioned we are doing well. And I don't know whether because at that period it was political season, and therefore speaking the truth about the pandemic would not give him any political advantage. So Ghanaians at a point in time realized that, oh, we are safe, we don't have anything to fear. There's that assurance of trying to eradicate the pandemic in Ghana. Just after the elections, you see where we are again. And during that time, there was the issues of testing, issues of contact tracing was nothing to talk about. Society began to see it as we are safe, we are free, we can do whatever we.
I just want to welcome Peter Nkrumah.
Okay.
And so, just a while, I'll be back.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to Somenya or Accra.
Sure.
Check, auto checks, check, auto checks, check.
Emission, check.
Check, auto checks.
Alignment, check.
Auto checks, check, auto checks.
Brakes, check. Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much.
Auto checks.
Auto checks, check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority.
Check, auto checks.
Welcome back. This is the morning update. I told you Peter Nkrumah is around. He's with us in the studio. Peter, welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
Is it because your office is close to Kweku Bako?
Oh, why? No, we share the same.
I want to see that bag.
Which bag?
That bag.
With documents.
Oh. I beg you. Yeah, just show me that bag.
Oh, you see,
and the brand.
I only have just raise it.
Raise it. Let's see the brand.
I only have constitution.
Yes.
Standing orders. You know, because today, because of vetting.
Yes.
I want to pick vetting as one of the issues that we will discuss. So I brought the and some few standing orders.
Of course.
And then the election, of course, the courts.
So those are your issues.
Just 3
okay.
issues. Yes.
When I see you with the document, I become scared.
Oh. no. Just some few documents.
Something small. Okay, you are welcome. That's how I want to welcome you.
Oh, thank you, my brother.
The last time, a lot of people sent us messages that they enjoyed your contribution because it raised the bar because of the references you made. And we are looking up to many of such today. Before you came, Oparijan said he wanted us to pick on COVID briefly. And so he was making a submission as to what we may have done along the line, which has watered down the fear we wanted to put in people to help them to go strictly according to the protocol. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, so based on what the president did during the campaign era, the fear was totally out of Ghanaians. And I believe that it has contributed to where we are today. The fight against COVID is basically education, but the education side of it is totally out of the program the government is putting out now. They are more interested with the PPEs and others, which is, of course, is not available to students as it were. I will urge them to intensify the education. We used to have a collaboration with the Ministry of Information to educate Ghanaians on it, but it was just one issue that we did with them. If you don't educate, if you don't continue to stress that, look, this is a pandemic that can wipe society away, and when you come into contact with it, a week or 2 or 3, you can be no more.
Is it that we are not taking actions that are serving as deterrent to those who flout the regulations? That is why we are where we are.
I think it's better. It's more of education than to punish. When you have the education to encourage people to adhere to the protocols, I think it's more important. People, if you go, even as we speak, it's common to see people outside wearing the masks. Go into the communities and see how it happens there. Within the communities, you don't see them wearing it.
Let me come to you, Peter. There was a time in this country everybody was scared. Yes. Even if you are going for a walk, yes, you feel scared. At a point, I thought the world was coming to an end, especially when we were under lockdown.
Yes.
You drive out, because some of us had the permission to move around town, and everywhere was quiet.
Yes.
All bars closed, everything was almost down to ground zero. And here we are, things have changed. There's a school of thought that it is because the punishment regime is not effective, and so people take things for granted.
Yes, Eric, good morning to you once again. Good morning to our viewers. But you see, we discussed this very topic last week, and I made mention of the fact that, yes, indeed, we started well. In fact, it got to a point where we're receiving a lot of praise from the international communities and some foreign dignitaries and international partners who actually saw how we took the fight. In fact, some of the things that some of the developed countries are doing now, we started it last year, way back. And so, but of course, at a point, we sort of subsided in terms of the zeal, the enthusiasm in fighting the disease. And so, a lot has been said, but the point is that I think we should take away politics, okay, and sheer partisanship from the fight. COVID is affecting MPP, it's affecting NDC people, it's affecting everybody. It's a global disease, but it has affected many countries, economies, and people have lost their jobs, a whole lot of problems.
Are we now realizing that we should take away politics, or we could have done that yesterday?
Oh, no. It is not about realizing whether we should take politics from it now or a day before or yesterday or whatever. But the truth of the matter is that it affects everybody. Yes, I agree that to some extent, or by and large, political leadership could be blamed. The same way we praise them when they were doing so well in the fight, okay? When they were doing so many testings, to the extent that among the sub-region were regarded as the best. They should take a chunk of the blame or the responsibilities. But the point also is that we cannot also take away the individual responsibilities from this matter. My boss, he is my organizing secretary, even though he doesn't take care of me. He made mention of the fact that go to the communities and see whether they are actually going by the protocols. They claim that it is a disease for the middle class and the elite. It is because they are testing more. And remember, they have the capacity to buy food and other things that boost their immune system to fight the disease. What about my grandmother or my mother in Obuasi in Ashanti region? Go and check. Even check the beaches, the nightclubs, and the restaurants. There is this directive that it should be closed. People are patronizing it. You see, and when you send the security forces to go and arrest them and punish them, the same people will begin to raise questions about why we are using security services to sort of intimidate the people. So I have nothing much more to talk about except to say, encourage us to believe in the fact that the disease is actually a reality. It is there, and that we should take care of ourselves. There is a limit government can do. There is a limit some people we've given positions to can do. A lot depends on us. How we take care of ourselves, how we try and practice the social distancing, the wearing of masks and all those things. If you don't do it, in the end, who suffers? I agree also that some of the government directives must also be looked at in terms of the students or children who are below the upper primary. I mean, I've seen videos of people totally going out of their way in terms of the protocols, wearing of masks and other things. So some of these things can be looked at.
Okay,
but in totality,
I look at 3 things or 4. Public education.
Sure.
I don't know what education is. I'm presuming that I don't know. But if education is supposed to be sharing information about the threat levels, about what you need to do, about how that can affect you and even the nation at large, then it is difficult for me to agree that we have not done much since March last year. There's another leg, which is about politics. Why is it that when things happen and we have to deal with them, we want to always blame politics for it, when politics itself can be another antidote to make sure that the right things are done? There was COVID. Concerns were raised. There was another political party which said we have formed our COVID team. We saw a combination of efforts where all the parties were making distributions, were doing public education, criticisms came from across parties, and so on and so forth. Whether it was politics or not, those actions at that time contributed to public education. And so why do you say politics is wrong? And I'm not limiting, I'm not I'm not suggesting that the concern you raised is wrong. I'm only raising this as a question that we need to think about.
Sure.
Beyond that, we have had countries which have punished people who are state officials or public officials who have done or breached protocols, and they have been sanctioned. That, in my opinion, serves as a deterrent.
True.
But we have people in position as MPs or otherwise who break COVID protocols, and it is public knowledge, and they have gone free, and so it serves on the conscience of authority to go after the poor people. Then it comes to management of COVID resources. I don't know if any of us was surprised when the health minister designate said $100 million allocated is finished, and then we are looking at monies being collected at the airport. He says, I am not aware about how the decisions were taken and what was done. Now, when these things happen, it creates the impression that there is an interest in resources and there is no interest in ensuring that the average person is protected. This question will be answered by the two of you to wrap up and move on to another place. But because you were on the floor, I want you to quickly wrap up on your response to this, and then I'll come to Oparijan and then we'll move on to another topic.
That's fine. You've raised virtually 4 issues. I agree with you on 1, but disagree with you on the other 3. The first one that I agree with you, the fact that people are just being irresponsible, okay, to the extent that the Speaker of Parliament had to even issue a warning to some MPs. We discussed that last week here, okay. The other issue about funds, COVID funds, the funds that was created and the accounts or the accounting of it. You see, we have laws in this country, okay. Public funds are audited by the Auditor General. It's been virtually a year. I think next month is a year. So there's no way anybody can go scot-free in terms of how funds has been used in this country. There's no way. The accounts will be audited. Parliament will be asked to debate it. The media will have access to it. Me and you will be here, God willing, if you are alive, to discuss it. So there's no cause for alarm. Okay, so I'm not worried about funding as to whether somebody is misusing funds or whatever. The day will come. We'll have opportunity to talk about.
Okay, I will stay with you but on the same issue. I don't know whether it came to you that there was concern among a cross section of the public that we are misapplying the funds, especially because of the elections. How the money was supposed to be used to address COVID was being used wrongly, and so if today the money is finished and those problems have not been adequately addressed, should it be an issue of you spend the money and come and account for it, or it should be about concerns about how the money was used?
My brother.
But let me also remind our viewers that this discussion segment is sponsored or supported by Health Alert Clinic. You can go ahead, Peter.
Yes, I am saying that whatever the issues are, okay, the Auditor General will audit the accounts of the COVID fund. It will be made public. So there's no, I mean, whatever it is, the law is that it should be audited, I think, the beginning or the last part of the year or first quarter or whatever. I'm not too sure of the law. But whatever it is, it will be audited. So dolly, by June or whatever, the report will come out. So we shouldn't worry. Let's relax. Okay? On the aspect of the media education, politics.
Yeah.
I agree. You can't take away politics out of it because it affects lives. Okay? But the partisanship is where I have a problem. Partisanship where deliberately people want to
sabotage,
mischief, create unnecessary fear and panic. Okay? You made mention of a very good point. A political party formed a COVID group or committee. When last did you hear of them? What was their contribution? Okay? It shows clearly to you that it was for political purpose and for mischief purpose. Okay?
You didn't see anything good.
What? That's what I'm asking you. I'm not aware.
I am aware that the former president led a conscious campaign beyond distribution of food to public education and so on.
That is different.
I'm aware that
good.
the committee they set up took government on offering alternatives to finding solution or helping to spread public education and ensure that the right things are done. I am aware that political parties at their level engaged in activities where you find MP candidates from both sides who went on the ground, who were given their own support in terms of raising their own resources to support. And so I don't see the mischief here. Unless maybe you convince me that all the things are pointed to are mischief in their way or the
I don't have
other.
a problem. In fact, it is good that we all contribute our quota into supporting the education. So what the former president did was good. Not two ways about it. But I'm saying that the committee he formed, when was the last time you heard from them in terms of even professing the so-called alternatives that you talked about?
After the elections.
Oh, even before the elections, they all flouted the rules. It's not only the government. Check the campaigns that the political parties.
Oh no, as for that one, I understand.
Not two ways about it.
You know, you mentioned the mischief
committee.
and you were asking what did they do. That was where I disagree. But if it has to do with flouting the rules and so on, I can't debate you on that.
Yes, but and I'm saying that there are alternatives or the contribution. When was the last time they held a press conference to state the, I don't have to say the so-called alternatives, but because whatever suggestion advice should be well taken, to profess an alternative? When the last time, even after the elections, have you been informed that the committee is dissolved? Have you been informed? No. Okay, the education. Look at the happenings around. The Information Ministry and the Ghana Health Service, they continue to hold a press conference and to educate us and to give us what is happening. Yes, I agree, at a point the updates stopped coming. It became a problem. We all raised issues about what is happening. Why have you stopped giving us the updates and all those things? Perhaps because of the elections. The elections is over. So they started, we have been assured of the vaccines. You see, things are not good in terms of the numbers. But we shouldn't throw our hands in despair and say that, things, we have lost the fight on all those things.
Okay, so let me take your brief comment and then we move on to the big issues.
Yeah, I disagree with the fact that political party cannot be part of the fight against this COVID. When NDC formed their technical committee to support, you could see that the government, it was rather the government which thought that they are doing that for political reason. So instead of reaching out to them like how they have reached out to other segments of society in terms of religious bodies, civil societies, organizations to be part of the fight, they did not give the necessary opportunity to NDC to do what they're supposed to do to help the fight. They said, no, don't come in. Your presence will not give us any political advantage. It will work against, so stay where you are. But I believe that if you are dealing with religious organizations in their small segment relative to NDC as a political party, let us not forget for that if you want to see any bigger institutions in Ghana as we speak, it's the political parties. the NDC and the MPP and the others, they command a lot of the population. Whatever they put in, being it good or bad, is accepted by their supporters. So when you are doing this, the fight, and you think that a political party is not needed in matters of death, in matters of sickness, and when their contribution could have done better for the country and reject them, I don't see why somebody should blame them that you can't see their presence.
He talks about mischief.
There's
and
no mischief.
It's a controversial issue, because I remember that when the former president, for example, suggested that there should be some of relief in the area of water and electricity, it was shut down it was described as mischief.
But it came to pass.
No, look, next week, okay, I'll prove to you, and I promise our readers, that issue of former president saying that water and all those things, data should be free and all those things, had been mentioned by the finance minister when he went to parliament, long before he commented or he even made a donation to the Rich Hospital.
When did
all
the
those
finance minister
released.
go to parliament?
No, you remember when by March, finance minister addressed
so
parliament.
the finance minister has mentioned something.
But it's not implemented.
Documented.
I'm not documentation, but it's the implementation that we are talking about.
Yes. But so, why? If the finance minister...
please, let me make a point. What I'm saying is that finance minister has gone there to say that we want to raise money from the World Bank or IMF.
Yes, and that's they will cater for.
And then that was after the president said I had instructed the finance minister to raise 100 million or to release 100 million dollars. Blah 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 blah. And then after that period, that action is not being implemented. Wait, you understand me? And then a former president said, do this and do this, it will cushion the people. If you have good intentions, why would you say because somebody has said it's mischief? That is what is the bone of contention.
But in the end, it was done.
At what time?
You see, but what was the reaction? Because I am just speaking to the issue about mischief, and I'm saying that it is quite controversial, because if you are doing something and I come in to support, would you want to look at the support I'm trying to offer or the advice I'm trying to offer because of my coloration, or you want to look at it as a positive note that should be carried on?
Let me give you a typical example of the mischief I talked about. You know, Opare mentioned that the door was closed to the NDC to partake or come and be involved in the activities of them. It's a lie.
It's not.
You remember the president met the political parties where in that incident...
John Mahama didn't go.
No.
It was Samuel Ofosampo.
And Ofosampo even mentioned the fact that the Radio Gold and other stations should be open. You remember?
Right,
Of course, I agree with the fact that the issue of Radio Gold and other things might be looked at again. You see? And so, you remember that meeting?
I do.
What was it about? Was it about consultation?
Bringing all hands on deck.
Together? So why then do you say that it was closed? No, they had a committee then.
Peter.
That the committee.
No, but what you have said is
you
let's allow him. He's on the floor.
Yes, because there
are other issues.
You engage me to take a decision as to how we fight.
If you can summarize, I'll be happy.
Then I come back and say we have formed a technical committee to aid the fight. And you, at that particular moment, you see that no. I shouldn't have even come in to bring you in the picture, because the action that
your nose mask.
Yeah,
it has become a chin mask.
It's not easy.
Yeah, it is worrying you. Next week, I'll provide you.
I'll bring this one. But part of the effort is what I'm wearing. You get it. There was that conscious effort to distribute food, nose masks, sanitizers, and others, and it created the awareness we are talking about today. Because when you get down to the communities, Peter, let us not forget the fact that where we have come as a country, politically, people listening to their political leaders more than any other segment in society now. So when there's an issue and the two parties agree, look, COVID is very, very, very dangerous from both NDC, MPP, and government. And that was why at that period of our fight, we were able to let Ghanaians be conscious of what we are doing.
I want to help you.
Okay.
So take this.
Hey.
It's branded XYZ.
Okay.
This one, I'm sure your head is small, so it is falling. This one,
normally,
this one has been packaged according to the head.
The head.
coming with it.
Those of us with big, big mouth.
So while he's wearing it, I want you to land in let's say 1 minute, and then let's move on.
So we are saying that look, COVID is rare. Let us continue to respect the protocols. Let us do what is right as a country, but the state has a responsibility.
Okay, you know, I want to make a joke. Somebody was telling me that some people have short chin. And I'm sure he has one. So we gave him this one. Grow beard, and it will support it like Peter. Now we have the Supreme Court. I want us to touch on it briefly, and then we can move on to the vetting.
Sure.
Or the other way around. Which one?
Oh, let's look at the Supreme Court.
Okay, quickly. So the Supreme Court. Let me read some controversial posts I've seen on social media, and they are coming from some prominent people in society. And this one is from I think Franklin Kujo, and then just after the Supreme Court ruling, this is what Kofi Bento, for example, put out there. It says, whether EC or Eugene, you cannot accept public office and refuse public scrutiny. They are two sides of the same coin. Sit up. And then Franklin Kujo said, Ghana's 2024 elections will be interesting. I wonder if there will be a declaration of results. Obviously, these reflect the reaction by one side or one group of Ghanaians to what they have seen, some have described as unanimous decisions, because they seem to be going in a certain direction. Let me start with you, Peter, because you prepared for it. How did you receive it? Did you anticipate it, and is it a surprise?
No, it wasn't a surprise. I wasn't a surprise. I mean, you know, as for Imani and our friends, they are our friends. You see, their posture in terms of how they have handled issues of the EC, it's not surprising. You remember, they have opposed them from the new registration time. And so their comments is sometimes not surprising to see them take an action virtually opposing whatever the EC will do or EC wants to do. But you see,
when you generalize it, I don't think you are being fair to them, because Imani has a track record of being consistent with their position on EC and its activities either today or yesterday. So you don't limit it to only this period.
No two ways about it. In fact, you see, it is one of the very credible civil society groups. Okay? I have used some of their the ratings that they have used. They usually come out in terms of the performance of government and all those. I have published some of these things in our paper. Okay? And so it's a credible issue. But you see, I am taking them on in terms of their posture with the way and manner they have dealt with this current EC. Okay? But that's not even beside the point. The court, I wasn't surprised, like I said, because you see, it beats my imagination that a political party will say that they have won an elections. Okay? And for that matter, they are preparing to go to court. They decided to go to court by abandoning.
So are you suggesting they went to court because they said they have won an election?
Oh no, wait.
I want us to set the record.
I am building a point. You understand me? Don't worry.
We don't pass comments to back an argument you want to put across. They have been to the court that nobody has won the elections.
Yes, and yes, I'm demonstrating something to you. Take your time. Don't worry. We'll get there. Okay, my brother. I'm saying that they started by saying that they have won the elections. That is public record. And told all of us, supporters, they were out there, okay, claiming that they have won the 2020 elections. Now, they went to court. And this time they said that nobody won the elections. That is their strategy. That is their plan. We cannot force them to go to court and say that indeed we have won the elections. In fact, I have a publication here where one of their spokespersons in an interview with Star FM said that they have no evidence, okay, to say that Mahama won the presidential elections. Now, they went to court. Like I said, you cannot begrudge them. That is their strategy. And when they went to court, the petitioner, the main petitioner, decided not to testify. They brought in Mr. Johnson Esedin Ketia, their general secretary, who was virtually in charge of the election in terms of coordination and everything. That is their choice. That is their strategy. You cannot fault them. Okay? He comes and testifies that they decided to send samples of their evidence. You all heard him. That on the angle of overvoting or pardon, they sent samples to the court. I would have wished that once you have evidence indeed that you have been cheated, okay, you have won an elections, and you have the evidence, you would have submitted all those evidence to court to back your claim. But this time they said no, they brought samples. Well, that's also their strategy. You cannot fault them. Okay? Now, they come to court. They claim that they have won initially. They decided to go to court to say that yes, nobody won. One of their witnesses testified that on the aspect of the claims on pardon, they brought samples to court and many others. Now, the respondent also decided, look here, yes, I'll testify. So they respond. It's not as if they didn't come to court, they respond. Now they come to court and say, oh, after listening to you and all your claims, I think that I have nothing to add. The judges should just put or go ahead and give their ruling or pass judgment. And you are saying that I should be compelled to come and testify. It beats common sense. That you, Eric, is saying that I have stolen something from you. You take me to the head of XYZ. Okay? I said, okay, I'll come and bring my evidence or come and make my submission. I appear. And when I came, you make all your submissions, including your evidence and everything. I said, oh, based on what you have said, I have nothing to add. Please pass judgment. And you are saying that I should be compelled to speak and provide evidence or whatever.
Is it as simple as that?
No, that is exactly what is happening.
Because I heard Chachuchi Kata in court tell the panel that the reason why they are asking EC to produce documents is that they believe what they have is authentic.
Yes.
Because EC has declared several results, the one EC used for its results, they should put it on the table and then they will compare notes. The authenticity of what NDC or Chachuchi Kata told the court they have is obvious because whenever they sign the pink sheets, they get the duplicates, carbon copies
and it's the same,
for the political parties. So I have mine, and so bring yours and let's compare notes. So that is the issue about accusing somebody as a thief and you want to prove. And so it is not as simple as somebody has stolen my thing, and therefore, because that's my opinion, but you perhaps may have gone into the book. So I want us to have a conversation based on what
I am very happy you have raised that very point. Please, did the petitioners send any figures in terms of their own independent based on their carbon copies of the so-called or of the authentic pink sheets that they have? Did they send any figures to court apart from what the EC declared or what the EC announced? They didn't. They didn't submit to the court their independent calculation of the documents that they have, the pink sheets that they have. To the court, they didn't. They talk about accountability, that because the court answered it yesterday, that if you want an accountability, you don't come to court using the Article 641 route. Look, Parliament, almost every time the EC is invited to come and account for their activities. In fact, I have documentation of EC going to justify their budget. That is accountability.
But that is not results.
That is not.
That is not election results.
Election results.
EC has never gone to Parliament to justify election results.
No. Yes. And so when you go to court for election results,
so that is a different ball game. So the accountability aspect is what I'm questioning.
And so they are asking for accountability, and that it's an independent body. They should account for their activities. They do account. What about the issue of Freedom of Information Act? They can activate that route also to get whatever so-called information they want to know. The EC have declared. They are saying that per the information or whatever, a particular party has won the elections. You claim they didn't win. You won. You went to court on a different issue. Now you go to court, you say nobody won. You didn't submit any pink sheet to justify the fact that you actually indeed won. But you are saying that a decision should be taken based on public announcement or declaration from the EC. The EC says, he's saying that I have nothing to add. Let the judge decide. I am worried, and in fact, the supporters of the petitioners, and by extension the NDC, should be very worried. Something is happening, and I strongly believe that if it is not a decision by the group in terms of I don't have to, I mean, look, I'm not sure it's a decision. I'm saying that they are doing something. They are not telling them some truth.
Okay,
I'll come. My final point. We don't make Nunu's.
I'll come back to you because obviously you can't make this submission and you won't talk again on this subject.
Okay.
So I'll come back to you. Brief response or maybe supporting some of the
Peter,
claims he has made.
The question is, what were the pleadings and what are now? It's the same thing. They are saying that the EC, and for that was Dean Mensah, did announce results without following due process. So they are asking the court for her to tell Ghanaians whether she fulfilled her constitutional obligation as a EC. Come and say it yes or no, you're running away. These are the fundamental requirements of the petitioner. You have announced first results on the 9th. You change it on the 10th. The basis of your announcement on the 9th, when they did the computation in terms of Techiman SAF, nobody won the election.
There's an argument that Techiman South wouldn't have added anything anyway.
No, but why do you use it as an assumption? You get it. You have the mandate to announce. You came to announce, and you indicate that, look, you are doing this based on this assumption. And that turned out the figure that you brought, why it's calculated, nobody won it. So why the rush? And the issue of the Form 13, you know the issue of the Form 13. Peter, the Form 13 is supposed to have the signature of all political parties.
I suggest you open up, open it up, stretch it big.
Maybe it's 10. I've seen that it's there.
You see, the public education is doing it for us.
Yeah, it's 10. Yeah.
Okay, now
there's
so you can just bend the a little.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's something here. So
if it drops again, then you have a problem.
That's the problem. Maybe what I use is what I have other what I use.
Okay.
What is happening is that the EC, the Form 13, the Form 13 has columns for everybody to endorse, and there is a column that if you are not agreeing to the figures, you have to state your reason. That reason is not there. It presupposes that before you announce, everybody should have access to the Form 13, and let the person say, I am not signing based on your results. I am rejecting your results, so I have expressed my opinion here. It wasn't done.
But Rojo admits he signed some.
No. Rojo signed.
He had issues but signed.
No, it was.
And some people are saying at his level he cannot sign something.
There's a difference between the Form 12 and the Form 13. The Form 13 is the accumulation of the 12. So the 12, you can sign the 12. But after signing the 12 and you have problem with, even if it's one of 12 that you have a problem, you can refuse to sign 13. But you indicate the reason for not signing the Form 13. NDC did not sign, but you went ahead to announce. Tell Ghana, they did not sign because they expressed ABCD, and that is my position.
There's briefly, there's a school of thought that moral or conscience will haunt those who perhaps know what must have been done right, and some are suggesting that a president has been set, and that will haunt us forever. The question is, if EC has nothing to hide and so wishes to let Ghanaians appreciate the fact that let's shame NDC, why will there be a certain clause with reference to human rights and whatever has been quoted by the ruling before the pronouncement as an excuse? Because majority of Ghanaians feel that there's something fishy, and they're saying that it is going to water down the suspicion that NDC had nothing before the court.
You see, I disagree with you when you say majority of Ghanaians. There's no data to support that. Okay, that majority of Ghanaians think that EC is hiding something.
But you see, sometimes let's be realistic. If you follow conversations, sometimes between you and I, because of the job we do, you can track opinion and how they come across will help you to appreciate how the public is speaking. You and I know this.
Yes, that is
and
true.
So to just conclude
but you can say some Ghanaians. But
okay, you go ahead.
I disagree with you. But Well, that is
but
true.
what I've said, you know,
oh, yeah, it's true.
it's a
no,
fact.
No, not true,
So,
you follow trend.
because all of us do the same job.
You will see.
Right.
But you see,
but go ahead.
That's even not an issue. You see, Opare mentioned the fact that he made a point that the EC is running away. When they say somebody is running away, really, the people, they are in court. They have responded to the petitions. Just that they are saying that they won't testify. It means they won't add up. That is different. If they say they won't come to court, that's where maybe you have an issue with them to say that, oh, they are running away. They have responded. In fact, they are actually going to write their written argument to respond to whatever
on February 17,
whatever issues that the NDC has said. They will respond to it. So where comes in the issue of running away? From 13 and the so-called Rojo. Look, you made a very important point about Rojo's point that he signed some and didn't sign some. And look here, we must educate the people. I was scandalized when I read I heard Rojo himself made mention of the points you made. And so I went for his witness statement. And with your permission, I want to read something so that
I hope it not be too long.
Oh no, just a paragraph.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, paragraph 11 of Rojo's
witness statement.
And I quote, my goodness. I must admit, I was misled by the position of the EC officials into signing the regional coalition sheet for the Ashanti region simply because there was a signature of the agent of the petitioner at the regional coalition center on that sheet. I later found out from speaking with officials at the party headquarters that what had been presented on the signed coalition form was not consistent with a tally of polling station results in the Ashanti region. My brother,
what is wrong with that?
Look, Rojo Metinunu is very experienced since 1992. I came very close to him in 2008 when he was at the strong room. You have been sent to the strong room to go and do a job. And he is saying per this statement that he signed, he was misled to sign. After his signing, that he got to know that what he has signed is different from what is at the party headquarters.
What should he have done before?
Look, you are an agent. The first thing he should have done, and he knows, is once you are given the coalition sheet of constituency A or regional AB, you call your headquarters first. What figures do you have there? Does it tally with what I have? Before you sign.
Which is right.
And he's so experienced, he knows it.
Because he was there in 2008.
My goodness, God, since 1992. He himself said it.
At least 2008, we all saw the drama at the EC.
And so, you go and sign to a document before you check from your headquarters to find out that what you have signed is actually wrong. And you tell this to your supporters.
A lot of things played out in court, Peter. How do you feel when tapes like you don't contest them with EC's figures, and then the allegation that a certain Supreme Court judge tried to smuggle from 13, which was not part of what was packaged. When these things played out in court, everybody saw, and with all these things happening, when you sit as a Ghanaian, how do you feel? What do you think goes through the minds of ordinary people?
My brother, look, we are in court, okay? The judges, per the happenings, they are trying to understand the actual issues. And so they will ask questions, okay? They will find out, they will ask so many things about the case. You remember Justice Appel even had calls to ask Seydou Ketia some questions, and the lead counsel for the petitioners even questioned the relevance or otherwise of it. You remember that? What was the independent figures from the East, from the NDCs, and blah 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 blah. You remember?
I do.
And so all these issues you've talked about, it's more like a curve. They are trying to find out. So they'll ask many questions. More like in our school they say brainstorming. All manner of issues will come. And then after it, they will sit down and
okay.
put here.
So, Oparian,
just the fan.
On the 11th.
Wait, hold on.
It is rather okay.
No, it is not even 11 alone. Let me
I'm coming.
The 19th.
No, I want to.
He said he signed the Western.
I want to.
North. Okay.
The reason is that let's also not forget that we have another topic to deal with. So
yes.
So come in briefly, maybe 1 minute, wrap up on what you have. Then you can also speak, and then move on to the vetting.
The 11. Okay. When you finish, read 19 too.
I'm there.
The 19 was said on the Western Region summary sheet. The regional representative for the petitioners did not sign and gave the reason for not signing. Now listen. This was duly noted by the strong room representatives. I made a mistake when I signed the summary sheet in the EC strong room.
Pause there. You wanted you had a counter paragraph to read.
On the 12th, on the paragraph 11. Is the reason why Miss Madame Dimensa should be a witness to disclaim?
Why?
Because he's claimed that the EC deceived him. You get it? And the facts that comes to them at that moment will not come from a party agent. It will definitely come from EC official. You get it? And he said he has been deceived. So now the response is on the EC to come and dispute that paragraph 11.
No,
arrest my
no.
case.
Oh, but you see, but you think that the EC will not respond to it doing the address to the court?
If you respond to it, why won't you face cross-examination?
On what? They have responded in court.
Okay.
They will write their written statement to the court. And so they will address whether they indeed misled Mr.
Or otherwise.
And it was not on that issue. I've read the paragraph 19 also. In any case, non-signing or signing of the coalition sheet doesn't invalidate the results. I read the CI here last week.
Yeah, but there should be for the 13.
For transparency, yes, I agree.
There should be reason. It's not for anything that they said if you not sign, give your reason.
Okay.
You should tell Ghanaians
but on the 19th there was a reason in Western North.
Yes, but that's
and yet he mistakenly signed. You've been sent to go and oversee my interest. You go there and you see that somebody has signed with reasons, and you claim that you signed mistakenly. You should be questioned.
Are you not worried about signing or claiming that it was by mistake?
There was a reason for the person not signing.
Okay,
you got it.
So let's leave it there. Now we know some appointees have appeared before the appointments committee, and we've had some controversial responses, some controversial questions. Some of them which stand out have to do with the elections, others had to do with the security of this country and so on. And so you realize that when the health minister appeared, there were a lot of questions about some policies, some projects, ongoing ones, and issues about COVID management. The national security minister was there. There were critical issues about kidnapped girls, security of the state. There were issues about Techiman South, the shootings, whether those involved have been identified. I remember one of the MPs, Kujata Blakwa, tabled some video evidence. There were issues about the invasion of parliament. The minister admits there's an investigation. Who did it? He doesn't know. And there's a syndrome of I am not aware, I will find out. Amidst other relevant responses that have also come with regards to initiatives government is taking. I don't know your take, but your response will come in the form of text message that you'll be sending to us. Health Alert Clinic is sponsoring the discussion segment with X Natural Mineral Water. So let me start with you. Peter has been starting most of the time. Vetting. What do you see stands out, and what is your opinion on how the committee should handle some of the appointees who have appeared?
I've been asking myself since we came into this Fourth Republic. About 90-something% of our ministers who go for vetting say true. So the question again is, what is the relevance of the vetting? They will go and they will ask them questions. They raise objections, and yet they will go through. Do we need to adopt innovative way of vetting, or is it something that at a point in time maybe we leave it? You have been elected as a party to rule. If you go and bring incompetent people to be part of your government, it becomes your responsibility. What is happening is a clear indication that whatever reason happens at the committee level, I'm likely to say true. So they are not giving out information needed by the ordinary citizen. Some of the questions asked, even though it's asked by an MP at the committee level, the essence of it is to help the population to appreciate what government is doing. And I'll be happy for them to have given the answers, whether it will go against your government or not. We needed the answers. When you are asked what is the status of Takoradi Girls, you should be able to brief the committee what is pertaining. Especially
that case was in court, and we know the ruling is next month. And then we also know that some bones have been collected from somewhere, and they are being kept at the police
forensic
department.
But if you are a minister who has been renominated, normally if you say you are a new person and they are asking those questions, then it becomes assumption to us. But if you have handled a ministry for 4 years and they ask you questions and you are unable to give the answer, and you indicate I am not aware, I don't have the answer, I don't know, then your credibility, your competence, your honesty is questioned. Parliament should begin to, maybe if it could be possible, they should give them the questions in advance.
Do you think that some of them have not performed creditably, and so may have to be grilled further to produce some additional evidence before if they have to confirm them?
Once the person has been a minister in that ministry, what will be the basis for you to indicate that he has not performed? Because the questions you are asking him is based on a work that he has done over the years, and he is not trying to give you the answer. But he has been there as a minister. He has passed through the same parliament for the same ministry.
There's a school of thought that this particular committee must be seen, and perhaps has already started demonstrating that the level of questioning is different from the past. There's a school of thought that there's the need for the committee, especially because of the composition, to demonstrate that you can't take the appointment committee for a ride. And so if some of them are not forthright with responses, they must be rejected. For example, I've seen national security analysts suggesting that Kandapa is a flop, Adam Bona to be specific, and therefore it should not be approved. If you can just pass a comment briefly on this proposition, then I can go to Peter.
The composition is not necessary. That is critical. What is critical is for the committee as a group to do a good job for Ghanaians, and whoever deserves to be said through must be asked to go through.
Okay, let me come to you, Peter. Just yesterday, I'm sure you and I are aware that Data Bank, for example, is pulling out from the Ejapa royalties deal as transaction advisors.
Yes.
Many people say it is because of what is expecting
today
to hear at the vetting. There are several petitions we are aware of, and this I am not aware syndrome, and I will find out and I'll give you additional information. Some suggest that it is becoming too much and those people must not get the automatic confirmation.
Well, I can understand your fear or your concern, but you see, first and foremost, we must understand that ministerial positions, apart from some few positions like the Attorney General, where you need special expertise in maybe law to occupy, and maybe Minister of Finance, where you need economics or accountant or somebody with finance background to occupy. Okay, it is more like administrative position. Okay, and for that matter, it goes beyond sometimes certain information that is provided by an individual, or even the conduct or performance of some of the answers, or some of the answers that they give to the appointment committee. Because you see, all those issues can be cured even after the vetting. The issue of I don't know, I'll provide the answers. Parliament can invite such an appointee later to the appointment to the committee level, or even to Parliament, to come and answer questions, for instance, on the Takoradi girls who were killed years ago.
But some think that, for example, the invasion of Parliament and this same Parliament vetting you as National Security Minister or Defense Minister or let's say Interior Minister, all those parties should know something by now, because that is the gravity of the offense. And so it cannot be a ride over where they appear and say, we are investigating or provide you the information when you approve me, when those institutions led by the individuals who are going to appear or have appeared must have prevented it from happening in the first place.
I understand, but I'm saying that the mischief or whatever the issues are, it doesn't end at the appointment committee. In fact, the NDC minority have had cause to raise the fact that they will call for a parliamentary probe into that matter. And so it doesn't end there. So whether the person said, I don't know, or do not have enough information or whatever, it can still be cured in subsequent parliamentary meetings and activities or whatever. Okay. So I have no problem with that. I'm not afraid. Whatever it is, the truth or otherwise will come out. But you see, in instances where people want to use it to settle personal scores and for mischief purposes, that should not be encouraged. Okay? To the extent that we have heard that, oh, this appointment committee, is tight, should even disqualify people. They have no power to disqualify anybody. In fact, the standing orders is all clear on it.
Can you help us with what is there?
Yes, it's here. The orders 172, that there shall be an appointment committee, and it states their function. It shall be the duty of the committee, quote, it shall be the duty of the committee to recommend to Parliament for approval or otherwise of persons nominated by President for appointment as ministers of state, deputy ministers. They talked about Council of State, Chief
and
Justice, and all those lists. Okay? And so the committee is a committee of Parliament. They are to only make a recommendation that we agree or disagree on such a minister nominee or that to the Parliament. And look here, it says that the committee shall report to Parliament within, it gives some days, blah, blah. When that is done,
then Parliament as a whole,
right, will have to take a decision. And you know what happens there? The same 172 or the 172(8), a candidate who fails to secure 50% of the votes cast is rejected. So on the day, I've heard comments that, oh, the speaker will not be there. The deputy speaker will sit. And then there'll be 137, they will have to decide. And on the day, those present, you need only 50%. So if it happens that on that day, 137...
Like it happened to the motion on the tertiary bill, whatever.
Yes. So on that day, those present, you need 50%.
Okay.
To sail through.
Let's wrap up. Today, maybe I'll give you some 2 minutes each. I beg my producers, because I should have told you earlier. Sunday is Valentine's Day. And so we want to leave the last part of the show for some conversation and some advice. And so I don't want to just take you on immediately. I apologize.
But Peter has started the Valentine.
Oh, how?
What's a red try?
Oh, my brother. It's not red.
So would you be surprised if any of them is not, at least some of them may not go through? Would you be surprised?
Oh, it is too early to decide. They have just started. So,
all right.
But I would not be surprised, especially looking at some of the petitions.
Okay, let's spend the last few minutes. This Eugene Ahin issue is trending.
So I wish we would have, I brought 2 issues. The Koku suspension. So I will talk about the Koku suspension, and then maybe he can talk about Eugene's.
So you will talk about Koku suspension. Eugene's issue. Yeah. Some say marital issues. All of us have problems with our wives. Some of us maybe even doing worse. But we are lucky they are not signing divorce notes. But others are saying it is because of the wealth amassed, because people knew him before 2016, and his own wife's testimony in the suit makes some revelations, and it's an issue of concern. I don't know. Briefly, I beg you, on this, and let's move on.
I think the president should ask Eugene to step aside now, because in communication, the one who speaks for you, if he's dented, how is he going to carry the message to the people to accept? He has to go with a certain level of credibility to be able to carry your message with that credible impact. And if you look at like you said, how the wife has detailed her petition, she wanted to prove something. beside let's take the sexual aspect and on, but she has indicated who he was and who he is now. And between that period, you could see that his financial status has changed from 2016 up to date.
Is that your worry? Can anybody go to Shraj, for example, to cause for investigations into how he acquired the wealth and all the properties?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay,
it's
because
possible
of time.
Yeah.
You said you are not
initially I said I wasn't going to speak about
You said you are not
and he
interested.
has come out as a communicator. He has come out to say that he will respond. But
He has responded to one aspect, but I'm sure he's yet to respond to the others. But Peter, you wanted to comment on it.
Peter said you will not comment.
Yes, I initially I said,
Your food, this breakfast. You know, sometimes you can go for
porridge.
Plantain and beans, and somebody will go for watching. You look at the watching. Will be watching
these are issues that
they are sensitive.
Yes, very. It can. It's so sensitive that we should be careful the way we go about it. You see, why
did you know Eugene before 2016? I knew him.
Yeah, he's my friend.
And I know we knew him.
Yes.
And were you surprised with the list that has come out?
Eric, I'm saying that we should wait.
Okay.
An affidavit to the court is not gospel.
Okay.
Okay? The fact that I have taken you to court and listed all manner of allegations against you is not gospel. Okay? I'm not saying that Eugene is wrong, is right, or the lady is wrong or is right. Okay? But I am worried.
We have 2 minutes
that
to wrap
from
up.
where Eugene occupies, he did not. He doesn't sign contracts.
Okay, so let's leave
no, Eugene doesn't sign contracts. Remember?
All right.
Okay.
So
we should be. Let's wait.
Okay.
The case will unfold in court, and we will know the truth or otherwise of it.
Okay. So we have sacrificed Koku or.
Yes, I've sacrificed Koku.
Okay. So, but the fact is, Koku Ayido has been suspended by the party pending investigations or further action.
But you see, on that one, I was going to say that
you have eaten my watch.
You
are eating my watch, and you want to come for
just Macron. You see, they've been. I agree that there should be party discipline.
Yeah.
Okay, there should be party. Whoever goes against the party rules must be sanctioned.
Okay.
But the way you go about it,
it's another issue.
Approach is a
okay, so I'll read just 3 messages. Producers, I respectfully beg that we do some few messages. Abena will continue when JKD joins her to do something on Valentine's Day. Musa Batua in Kumasi says, we are appealing to the Supreme Court to consider the interest of seeking truth and justice by allowing Jean Mensa to appear before the court for cross-examination. This one says, the question of having National Guards to put to the defense minister designate will enable the MPP government to push their vigilantes into the military. This one says, Valentine, answer the question to receive Valentine. Okay, this is a promo somebody sent to me. The other two, I'll read. This one says, I'm not surprised about the Supreme Court ruling yesterday because I knew the outcome already. And this one was coming from Ablade in Efiekuma Zongo. The last one is from Mawusi in Kumasi Bantama. There is no court of competent jurisdiction in this world where a defendant is forced to testify. That's how I want to wrap up on the newspaper review segment. We would have closed at 9 o'clock. I'm here with Peter Nkoma, Deputy News Editor for Daily Dispatch newspaper, and Opare Jan is the editor of the is it the Democrat?
Daily Democrat.
And the organizing secretary of Primpark.
The Daily Democrat and organizing secretary of Primpark, your boss.
Yeah, he's my boss, yes.
Next Friday, we'll come with again with some editors to join me to do the discussion. I'm not gone yet. Abuna will join you. You talk Valentine. Some of us are old, so we have stopped chopping Valentine. We'll be back after the break.
Ifo kra na menyisika edia ye mefui.
Ehin fa na menya bosia edia tre medwuma yimu.
Kai kra mabre mi ye bosia ato taxi fofo. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yema kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hwehwe ahodo bi te se dwadifo abosia, ekokro bosia, susu account,
and it does all her savings account. Me bada chain savings account, and then the keka home. Tresuhum Rural Bank was 03422918696. Now one so what to me say.
Suhum Rural Bank, ama ene mayeka una.
Suhum Rural Bank, entime pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
Indeed, where is your boyfriend? Because I have realized a trend. Most of the ladies are engaged, but most of the guys are single. I know you can relate with what I'm saying if you're a woman out there, because most of the time the guys will approach you and be like, oh, I'm single. But you have friends who are going out. So who are the ladies going out with today? JKD, you answer.
Are you going out?
Where is your girlfriend? Valentine is coming.
That song was meant for you.
Not for me. It was for you.
You didn't hear Abina.
They didn't say Nana Abina. Say what? They said Abina.
Please,
Abina.
every Abina is Abina. But anyways, yes, Valentine's Day is on Sunday.
Yes, and I hear you have something special for us.
Yeah, but a lot of people are even saying that because it's on a Sunday, I mean, they'll go to church. In fact, a lot of churches are even taking advantage of that, you know, to preach love as far as God is concerned. But apart from the song, which I really enjoyed so much and it's trending everywhere, so people are asking, where is your boyfriend? Where is your boyfriend?
Where is
which
your
you don't want to ask.
I'm asking you, where is your girlfriend?
My girlfriend. Oh, she
what are you doing this Thursday?
She house. I'm going to church, coming back home and
send her Valentine's message.
She knows she's actually watching.
So
I love you, baby. Hello. Anyways, so to matters arising, which I feel that it's very, very interesting.
Right.
We have the National Chocolate Week, which was actually launched just this past week. In fact, we're still in the week.
Yes.
We're ending it on Sunday. And interesting enough, a lot of people say, well, I'm just eating chocolate for fun. But they don't know the health implications right there. They don't know what really gets into it. You get it? Because there are a lot of good things coming out of chocolates. Do you love chocolate?
I love chocolate.
Yeah, dark chocolate
I was waiting for you to, surprise me with chocolate. Like
you
it's
see
Valentine's
the color.
Day.
You see the color.
So
It be chocolate, and you're dark skin. You don't need chocolate again. Abba.
Do you see that prejudice?
Yeah, so it reduces stress. It actually reduces the risk of getting stroke too as well. So reduces your blood pressure and everything. So, and the striking thing is that they have a bazaar going on at the Tetekwashi roundabout as we're speaking, and it's a striking feature because of Tetekwashi.
Okay,
yes.
Makes a lot of sense.
So I love what is happening. So in case you're out there, you might just pass through and see what is happening over there. That's
we
the
will
National
be going
Chocolate
there.
Week.
We'll be passing.
Also, Nanabna, since we are not in normal times, people are saying, how is COVID playing on Valentine's Day?
How are you celebrating Valentine's?
Why do you keep on asking how am I celebrating Valentine's?
People want to know. Don't you want to know? You want to know, right?
You need to tell me, how are you celebrating now?
It's you. Answer first.
I told you I'm going to church, coming back home, and sleeping. That's all.
You just said happy Valentine's, baby. So you're going home to sleep. Nothing.
Me at my house. She
has
PPU. Oh, please. We see ourselves in church. It's as simple as that. But I saw a funny thing. I saw a very funny thing as far as that is concerned.
Right.
But before that, some amazing dignitaries that we have in the country
who believe in Valentine.
Who believe in Valentine, who believe in chocolates too as well, spoke about the National Chocolate Week. So if we can have the video, and then we'll come back and talk more about it.
Right.
Yeah.
I have very few words. First of all, I am a product of the cocoa industry. My father was an astute cocoa farmer who grew up knowing that the sweetest thing on earth, apart from honey perhaps, was cocoa beans. The chocolates, the confectionaries that are coming out are good for us, they are good for our health, they are good for our economy. And they offer employment to our team in youth. So I will urge Ghanaians to take to cocoa. As we celebrate Cocoa Week, let's eat chocolate, let's stay healthy, and let's grow Ghana together.
Chocolate is very good for us as people. As a farmer myself, I farm cocoa in Berekesi, and sometimes I take it to my farmers, and it's funny. They spend time cultivating cocoa and they've never tasted it. So I will encourage all of us to eat chocolate because it's healthy, it's good for our health. It has so many medicinal purposes. And you also know that by eating Ghana chocolates, we are also helping to grow our industry, the cocoa industry. We are also helping to create jobs for our people. We are also helping to sustain the local production of chocolate. So let's eat chocolate, stay healthy, and grow our country.
When I was doing my research on chocolate and cocoa, it says chocolate, cocoa powder, it reduces blood pressure, reduces cholesterol, it prevents heart attack and stroke, it improves moods, it contains antioxidants, it's the best drink before bed for a good night's sleep, it improves your skin health, your mood, and your hair. I'm 75 years old next month. My blood pressure today was 119/69. Now, for a man of 75, it's a blessing. I've been taking cocoa powder for the past over 30 years. 30 years. This morning already I had 2 mugs, not cups, but 2 mugs of cocoa. I do that every day. I take 2, 3, 4 mugs of cocoa every day. I've had malaria once in those 30 years. That was because I didn't take my cocoa the whole week. I didn't take it. I got malaria. I got once in over 30 years. Again, I attribute that to the cocoa powder I take. Eat chocolate. Stay healthy and grow Ghana.
You heard Father Campbell, eat healthy and grow Ghana.
Yes, of course.
What did you pick out of it?
Eat
I know you
chocolate.
have hair, but you should be eating chocolates more often so you get more.
In fact, I was so down. My hair is not growing anymore. So now I know the remedy. It's just eating chocolate. That's it. So eat chocolate, stay healthy, grow Ghana.
In this
of
COVID
course,
times.
Why
And we
not?
need to laugh.
Yes, and then share chocolate with other people. But back to the COVID thing, I saw something very interesting, funny, and was trending on Twitter. A conversation between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. So quick
Are you sure it's not
one.
between you and your girlfriend?
No. This one, the boy was like, "Hello, dear, are you back from work?" He says, "Hi, B." He said, "Hey, why this? Hope all is well." So not really. He said, "You know, Valentine is coming, so you just want to do all these your tricks." Now hear the response. Not that someone tested positive for COVID in my office. So we've been advised to stay away from friends, family, and partners for 2 weeks. Now listen to the response. Don't worry, I'll wear PPEs and come over. As simple as that.
That's a smart lady.
Simple,
See, your
short.
girlfriend is smart.
It's not my girlfriend. Oh.
Still on text messages. During the show, a lot of you have been sending through messages with regards to what is happening or what has happened in our courts. Now, this one is coming from Ablade, Efio Kuma Zongo Takradi. Now, he says, "I am not surprised about the Supreme Court ruling yesterday because I knew the outcome already, so I did not waste my time to watch. I knew it would be a unanimous decision, but my surprise is how the judges think the same direction." Another one also says, "Good morning, family," from Nevada. He didn't add his name, but we still have more. And he says here, "Good morning, TVXYZ. I am watching live from Ekropon. It is very sad that state institutions have been weakened and compromised by self-centered and greedy people in government. If things continue the way they are, it will come back to haunt us." Another one says that, hold on 1 second. Okay, so I'll take one more message and then we move from. It says, "Good morning, TVXYZ. Amadou Dodoa." This one says MPP is playing Buga, so NDC should also lend him But I think that we should all try as much as possible to be calm about the situation. The Supreme Court knows what it's doing. I want to believe that.
Yes. Now, speaking about court, well, you know about X Zone, right?
Yes.
Yes, the best late afternoon entertainment show. You won't get it anywhere but on TV XYZ with your host, JKD. Now, a lot of people have been bugging me. What is happening? What is happening? JKD, it's been a while we've seen your face on TV and all that. But I just want to tell all cherished viewers out there that because of the election petition, I mean, we've taken a little bit of a break. But that shouldn't let them be disappointed or anything of that sort. We're coming back stronger, bigger, and better too as well. So once we're done with that and then we come back on air, it's going to be epic.
Super
Looking
epic.
at all the trending stories. Yeah, Charlie, funny face.
Funny face is a trending story.
Funny face. I mean, like, I don't know. I feel that there's something wrong with my brother. I mean,
when you say you feel there's something wrong,
I feel. So I think we need to really, really rush and look into that.
I know for first hand that some of the creative heads have been talking to him behind closed
It's not
doors.
just about talking. You see, my problem here is that you
it's
talk to him on phone or what?
It's not just about talking. They are advising that he seeks help. But he's an individual with an individualistic mind. You can't force him to do what he doesn't want to do. So now the question is, how do we take it to the next step? Do we go drag him from his house?
Of course. I mean, overseas, I mean, if you're showing all these things, we drag you straight to rehab. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, if it would take us to go straight and drag him, no, not just like how they did to him as far as the arrest is concerned.
I was waiting for you to clarify.
No, not like that, but we should have a nice way of talking to him and psyching his mind so we could take him over there and see what exactly is happening, because we had the likes of Kwade recently just, you know, came out of that side. You get it? So, I mean, we need to really, before it's too late.
Yeah.
Before it is too late.
And then we come out to say nice testimonies.
But there's also a striking feature about what he, aside the insults that he rains on social media, a lot of people are not taking concern on what he normally writes, and this is to the guys. He says that if he knew, he wouldn't have been chasing women with big sides and all that. You get, if he knew. And that's something we should also take into consideration.
Why?
Because he says that is his downfall. That is what he's talking about. So it might be a lesson to somebody out there.
That's just him talking out of pain, but I don't think
it might be a lesson to somebody out there.
We should, you know, discriminate.
Are you a fan of T-Flow or Medical? Which one?
This is a difficult choice.
Why?
Because I like T-Flow and I like Medical.
What do you like about T-Flow and what do you like about Medical?
I like T-Flow's flow.
Okay.
And I like Medical's flow too. So.
Oh, this girl.
Now, Medical
you
is
confusing
deep.
Yourself.
No. Wait, Medical is deep. I mean, I listen to him and I'm like, oh.
So T-Flow is what? Shallow.
Excuse me.
But deep. What
he's deep. He's quite. I mean, you can tell how smart he is by listening to his lyrics. And then T-Flow has this vibe. You know, like I'm listening to T-Flow and I'm like, yeah. So I like both of them.
She doesn't want trouble. She doesn't want somebody to be calling her.
I like both of them.
Said this, said that. But anyways, T-Flow and Medical were at each other's throats about Twitter too as well. But I think it's healthy for the industry. Because, I mean, sometimes you need to, you know, the same way he did with Strongman. And a lot of people, in fact, T-Flow fans were like, my guy, we will not be strong man. If you do, we will go do you some. You know, that kind of thing. And T-Flow also tweeted and was like, you know what, I respect women. It's not something that I will come and, you know, insult your wife or anything of that sort. So, yeah, basically that's it. So, people should just, you know, relax. Just after the election petition.
You have a lot coming.
X Zone is back fresh.
Keep tuned in to TV XYZ because we have so much in store for you. This has been the morning update on TV XYZ, brought to you by X Natural Mineral Water, simply the best, and also Health Alert Clinic. Let's go Herbal. We'll see you again on Monday. Have a very enjoyable weekend, and I would love to see you on Monday, so make a date with us.
The X is for exciting, Z, Zeal, O, original, and nice. The E wraps it up for entertainment. all in together. Well, it just got bigger and better. What I mean to say is, your afternoons just got lit. Hey everyone, I am yours truly, Jay Kojo Dasabre, JKD for short. Why don't you join me every single Monday and Friday, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. on TVXYZ, The More You Know, as I serve you nothing but the very best when it comes to entertainment news, entertainment reviews, and our musical countdown, so sweet that would tap your feet. Now that's what I'm talking about. Join me every single Monday and Friday. Yeah.